depends on which site to check it out. It's ranked somewhere between 500 and 1,000 in the world. University of Lagos has a similar ranking as well, which is ranked second in Nigeria. So why would you leave University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, and the other private universities we have there, and the other public schools as well, and go to Sudan? Over 1,200 of them go to Sudan. And no offense to Sudanese, by the way, and they're going through a very difficult time right now. But why would over 1,200 Nigerian students go to Sudan to go study anything? I'd like to get your take on this in the 4 o'clock hour and what this might mean for Nigeria's education sector in the 4 o'clock hour once again out of the business news. Now it takes us to 5 o'clock. We've got the news update at 5 p.m. And a story here from Punch. FG to remove fuel subsidy without disrupting livelihoods. That's according to some official. The federal government says it is considering how best to achieve subsidy removal without disrupting livelihoods in Nigeria. The PAMSAC, Minister of Petroleum Resources, Ambassador Gabriel Duda, said this while briefing newsmen on Thursday at the end of the Nigeria International Energy Summit. He said the federal government was committed to subsidy removal but could not be too specific until all indices were considered to ensure that the effect would not be harsh on average Nigerians. So we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this in the 5 o'clock hour. It appears that all, or at least most Nigerians, agree that subsidy should be removed. However, the contention is how or when. So if this official of the government is saying that subsidy will be removed without disrupting livelihoods, how? How can subsidy be removed without disrupting the livelihoods of Nigerians? How? What is the best way, the best time, the best procedure, the best strategy to removing subsidy such that it does not disrupt the livelihoods of Nigerians, or at least most Nigerians? I'd like to get your take on that. In the 5 o'clock hour. Remember, one of the things the federal government is talking about is having borrowed $800 million from the World Bank to dish out to the poorest of the poor, I suppose, the most vulnerable Nigerians. And I believe they have several other things in place. For example, there's talk about some salary increase. The government describes it as. Labour says it's just some added allowance to federal workers' salaries to cushion the effects. That's another thing as well. There are possibly other things lined up also. But what do you think the government should do to ensure that fuel subsidy removal does not disrupt the livelihoods of Nigerians? That comes up in the 5 o'clock hour. After the update, headlines at 5:30 p.m. The major news comes up at 6. A review of all these matters after that during the open season segment till about 7 o'clock when we wrap up the show for today. And that describes today's edition of Hard Facts. And the changes you will find out, stick around. But we'll keep things going now with today's side comments, random stories and random thoughts that caught my attention as I checked out the news today. Let's start with this one, this side comment. This was on the news, it's been on the news for a couple of days now. But I always just kind of missed it while delivering my side comments. But luckily, I'm not missing it today. Major General Jamal Abdul Salam has assumed duty as the 10th General Officer commanding GOC, 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt. This was revealed in a statement by the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Iweha Ikedichi. The new GOC charged officers and men of the Nigerian Army to always abide by the ethics of the profession. He pledged to consolidate on the successes of his predecessor while stating that threats to personnel, equipment and location would not be condoned. According to the statement, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam took over from Major General Olufemi Oluyede, who was redeployed to Army Headquarters, Abuja, as Directorate of Inspection and Compliance Office of the Chief of Army Staff. So, why did I read this story? Why did I feel I should have read this since maybe Tuesday or Wednesday? I just simply like to officially welcome to River State, the new and 10th General Officer commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam. You're welcome to River State. You're welcome to Port Harcourt. I don't know if you've been welcomed in style. I hope you have. We like to dance in River State. We like to throw a party. I don't know if, the western part of the country is known for Owambe. Any reason to throw a party. So I'm not sure if there's a comparison which will win, even though I think the West might still win, that contest. I mean, Owambe is legendary. But we do fairly well here in Rivers State. We like to throw a party. Women like to dance and, shake their behinds and all of that. And our men like to indulge heavily in some liquid stuff and raise their voices and become garrulous while they do that. And we like to close streets as well when we're celebrating anything, without any regard to how it might affect road users or other members of the public. So we like to have a good time, basically. So I hope you've been welcomed River State style. However, I fear that there are some things that your men may have not told you, or maybe the outgoing or possibly now outgone GOC 6th Division Nigerian Army may not have told you about his men, who are now your men, or who were his men, who are now your men. There are concerns by the good people of Rivers State about the conduct of officers of the Nigerian Army here in Rivers State. No doubt we have a lot of fine officers amongst them, but there are, from reports, it does appear allegedly that there are criminals amongst some of them as well, and that's quite disturbing. And there are human rights issues as far as officers of the Nigerian Army in Rivers State are concerned in their dealings with the civilian populace. There are concerns about human rights. There are human rights concerns, and also we hear that they are also colluding. They are involved. Some of your men, we hear reportedly, allegedly, that some of the men, or maybe even a lot of the men, are involved in the illegal crude oil trade in Rivers State. Anything illegal in the oil and gas industry, that they are heavily involved as well. That's what we hear. And we even hear that civilian criminals are now collecting uniforms of your men and collecting their guns as well. It happened. GOC, 6th Division, it happened recently somewhere in Emoha. They collected their guns. I think two of your officers, they had their guns collected. They had their uniforms collected also by some civilian criminal. We haven't confirmed if their boxers were taken as well, but that did happen. So those are the kind of men that you have inherited. We hope that you will change things. We hear that sometimes your men put up illegal roadblocks and collecting 100 naira from road users, drivers, vehicles, and sometimes even this profile people, the illegal refiners, those in illegal trade, they sort your voice, they palm money into their hands, so that they will let them pass. These are the things that we hope that you will address and correct. But Major General Jamal Abdulsalam, you're welcome to River State once again. We hope that you will enjoy the beauty and the splendor that River State has to offer. You will enjoy our bola and our fish as well, and you will contribute into making River State and its environs a much safer place for human beings to thrive, for businesses to thrive, and for all of us to be able to contribute our quota meaningfully to the growth and development of the Nigerian state. Please make welcome Major General Jamal Abdulsalam once again. I have a commercial break to attend to now.
Sincerely, I don't want to wait till I graduate from this school before I think of what to do with my life.
Exactly. I am going to seriously work on my music skills.
Dial. Conversation continues with today's side comments, and before the break I was welcoming the General Commander No, yeah. Pardon me, Major General Abdusalam Jamal, the General Officer commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt. And I got a message here, someone saying, good afternoon, Dial. Let the GOC not also forget to eat bole and fish and some fisherman soup. Yeah, I mentioned bole and fish earlier on. GOC, we've got some fantastic delicacies. The culinary, the delicacies, the foods in River State. It's just incredible. There's a wide array, really. It's incredible. Absolutely mind blowing. If you're a food person, I'm not big on food myself, but I do like to eat a good meal when I can. And I remember when I got to Port Harcourt some years ago, my first taste of the native soup literally changed my life. I had the native soup and my life did not remain the same again. Trying the fisherman soup, it's incredible. The native soup is mind blowing, and several other wonderful soups as well. Really, have a great time. All right, so let's move on to other side comments, other matters that caught my attention as I checked out the news today. Let's see. Political parties in River State whose candidates are challenging the outcome of the elections won by the PDP have spoken on the relocation of the Election Petition Tribunal from Port Harcourt to Abuja over insecurity. Now, speaking on this, media director of the SDP in the state, Bethel Okojaja, said the relocation will have no effect on the outcome of the tribunal, stating that it's a normal process. I don't know what Bethel Okojaja means by it's a normal process. Is he saying that it's a normal process? You know what? Let's take a listen to him first. I'll be back in a bit.
The men in the tribunal are men of proven integrity. So relocating or not relocating has nothing to do with whatever will be the outcome of that tribunal. I don't know why people are bothered about relocation and no relocation. It's not a serious deal, and nobody should be saying anything about it. It's a normal administrative process where they can sit comfortably and administer justice, and that's all.
And well, the relocation might not affect the outcome, and that's all well and good. We must give the tribunal the benefit of the doubt. However, I perceive that there is nothing normal about this process, because the tribunals ought to hear the matters in the state where the matters are originating from. So if you have to move it to Abuja, something is wrong. And when something is wrong, that cannot be normal. And something being wrong cannot be normal for River State. I know, it seems normal, something that's an anomaly elsewhere appears to be normal in River State. But I choose to not accept anomalies as being the norm. There's nothing normal about this. Maybe it's imperative. Maybe people don't have much of a choice. Maybe it has become sort of, happenstance. I'm searching for a word. I can't find it right now. Maybe because of events, have led us to this point where it has to happen, and it's inevitable. I think that's what I'm looking for. Maybe it's somewhat inevitable, I think, but it doesn't make it normal. Now, on his part, spokesperson of the APC, Darlington Wojun, told our correspondent that the relocation of the tribunal is necessary as past events have painted the state as not being safe for members of the tribunal.
Recall the series of protests, the siege that was laid on the INEC office, the illegal and unwarranted arrest of 3 APC lawyers. So a lot of cases, a lot of scenarios that points to the fact that the state is not safe. Recall also the killing of our campaign coordinator in Ahoda West and 3 others in Ahoda West alone. So there is no judge that can comfortably come to Port Harcourt to sit in the name of adjudicating on election petitions without being afraid for his or her life.
Yeah, that's a big concern. That's a big concern, no doubt. I maybe allegedly as well. Maybe, who knows? One of the concerns of those who may have petitioned or requested the moving of the tribunal to Abuja might be that supporters of some political party might decide to go sit there in front of the place and block the gate and start cutting onions there also. Maybe people don't want that to happen. Supporters of a party go in there to cut onions. And start to twerk. They might start twerking and cutting onions in front of the premises of the tribunal. Even not allow tribunal maybe officials to leave, and demand they might demand them, amongst other things, that even in matter that does not concern them, that they must be a part of it. If they are not in it, if they are not at the tribunal when another party's matter is being heard, that matter must not go on, and the tribunal must come out to address them before the tribunal will be allowed to sit and then hear the matters that have been brought before it. There might be such concerns as well. Allegedly, of course. Allegedly. That's it. What else caught my attention as I checked out the news today? I think that there must have been something else that. Okay, interesting story here. INEC says it does not know the whereabouts of the suspended resident electoral commissioner for Delta State, Chudu Ari, since his infamous action during the supplementary governorship election in the state. INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye, in an interview, said after the incident, the commissioner wrote to him and asked him to report to the commission, but he never turned up or returned any of the calls. Well, INEC must find him. You have to find him. The Nigerian police must find him. DSS, you have to find him. This is where intelligence is required now. We hope that you will use intelligence to find him. He cannot be missing. He's allegedly committed a grievous offense against the Nigerian state, and he must be fished out. He must be fished out. Pull intelligence from anywhere you need to pull it from. Call a rainmaker and force him to force it to rain intelligence if you must. But the suspended wreck of Adamawa State must be found, and he must face the law. He must have his day in court to answer for all the crimes or the allegations leveled against him. He must be found. Let's see what else caught my attention as I checked out the news today. NSCDC in Rivers State says the command has arrested 6 suspects and impounded 24,000 litres of engine oil from suspects after the anti-vandal team uncovered an illegal petroleum dealing site. The NSCDC commandant, Michael Oga, said he ordered the arrest of the suspects who were operating within Iwofe in Obiakpo LGA. The team also recovered 7 drums of illegal products suspected to be counterfeited and adulterated engine oil. Let's take a listen to what the NSCDC commandant had to say on this discovery, I suppose.
An illegal site that is being used for the adulteration of engine oil and also the counterfeiting of lubricants. Due to credible information, our anti-vandal squad was able to identify this place, and we are going to evacuate these products, and we're going to seal this station, and we're also going to charge them to court. 4 persons were arrested. We are still doing investigation. Everything is under investigation. Our message to them always is that they should desist because they will not have any hiding place here in River State.
That's a brilliant thing. That's brilliant. That's the kind of stuff we want to keep hearing. So thumbs up to the NSCDC, even the commandant. We hope your boys will not be beating PhD officials again, or any other person for that matter. But thumbs up to the NSCDC for a job well done here. And we want the NSCDC to keep getting intelligence report like this. Especially as regards what's that beach again? Is it Elechi Beach somewhere in Diobu? We want you to get intelligence report about the people who are running the illegal oil trade there as well. Now, one of the suspects spoke to newsman.
We are selling engine oil. I'm one of the sellers of the engine oil. No, we are not producing. We are buying and selling. The organizer that listed me yesterday said that he suspected the product that is fake. Actually, the station got the license. I have not belonged. Since when they scatter Iku, that's where we are here. The distributor that used to supply us.
Okay. Okay, all right. Well, he says they're banned and selling. We hope that beyond this press conference that's happened now, the NCDC will let us know when they charge them to court. The NCDC will we will be made known how the matter has gone in court and what the courts decide eventually. And hopefully, this is not a case of NCDC just trying to make the news that it is doing something and want to arrest innocent people who are doing legitimate business just to show to the public that it is doing something. I hope that's not the case. But the NCDC cannot do that. The NCDC we have in Nigeria can't do that. And the NSC in Rivers State obviously will not do a thing like that. Right? Wait, they won't do that, right? Okay. Was there anything else that caught my attention? I do have to wrap this up in a bit, as I do. I think there was one other matter. Very quickly before I wrap up the site. I mean, there's one other matter that I was pondering earlier on today. I think there was that one other matter. Or is there? Yep, 15 local government areas in Rivers State are at high risk of flooding this year. Zonal Coordinator, National Emergency Management Agency, Godwin Tepico, said this in an interview. He said the flooding in the South states will be as a result of high rainfall amounts as high as 2,700 millimeters. He also called on state government and its agencies to ensure they put in place a plan that will mitigate the impact of the flooding, adding that disaster management is everybody's business. Let's take a listen to what Tepico had to say on this.
I encourage the respective governments of the states, the local governments, because the act that established NEMA actually provides that states should set up their state emergency management agency and the local governments local emergency management committees. These states are expected to the first responders before NEMA can come to assist. So we use this medium to send this advisory to the states that do not have SEMA and the local governments that do not have LEMC to put these structures, these institutions in place so that it can proactively manage disaster.
I suspect that Mr. Godwin Tepico has just returned to the country or to Rivers State and is not aware of the CHOI response system to flood management that we have evolved in Rivers State. He should ask around and we will let him know that we have a flood disaster management system in place. And that's the CHOI response strategy. It's quite detailed indeed, covers all the areas. Anyways, that's a wrap on today's side comment. I go for a break now. When I return, today's round comes up. Do please stay with us.
You are tuned in to 92.3 Nigeria Info.
With Diode.
Welcome back. It is Hard Factor Nigeria Info Input Harcourt. I'm Dio. I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something on my mind. I've expressing some thoughts in it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts and mine all the way till 4 p.m. You know, there are things that happen in some parts of the world, and I say this with every sense of responsibility, and it makes it seem like human beings in Africa or human beings in Nigeria are either not human beings or species of human beings. But that we're not. We are human beings, we are Homo sapiens, and we are not an inferior species. But when it happens in some parts of the world, and you compare it to what happens in this part of the world, and you wonder, do we have the same brains? Do we have the same red blood cells? Are are their hearts, their actual hearts, the hearts of us in the Western Hemisphere have hearts that are bigger than ours. I don't know, but no, it's actually the inside the same, everything's the same. It's just how we choose to apply ourselves that's different. You may have heard of the scandal or the situation that's rocking the UK at the moment. Here's a version of the story from Al Jazeera. UK Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab accused of bullying quits. Here's the story. Britain resigned on Friday. Why did he resign, by the way? Foolish boy. I can imagine Honourable Judge discussing this matter. Maybe they're, I don't know, sitting somewhere having a great time, and then it comes up on the 102 screen. And say British resign. I'm slapping it. So how you imagine this foolish boy is resigning? Why did he resign, by the way? He resigned following months-long investigation into formal complaints of his behaviour from several civil servants. Listen. Now, what were these complete persons, and his conduct was unbecoming in to civil he denied the claims and said, quote, behaved professionally at all times. He, however, said he would resign if the allegations were upheld. So he denied it. And by the way, he's released a letter since his resignation, and he doesn't like the outcome of the investigation, but what he likes or does not like does not matter. It's inconsequential. There was an independent investigation. He was indicted, and that's it. That's what matters. He has to leave. He has to leave, and that's why he left. And I'm sure, and it has to do with how he conducted himself while in office, how he treated subordinates. The allegations once again was that he intimidated subordinates, that he bullied them, that he humiliated them in some cases, and spoke to them in ways that were for them unbecoming and did not dignify them as human beings. And I can imagine Honourable right now watching this thing on TV or listening to this show right now and saying, "Look at him, foolish boy. How can he resign because they say he's intimidating them? If he does not intimidate them, who will intimidate them? If Excellency cannot intimidate people that he has appointed or people who are working under him, what is the point of being an Excellency? If Excellency cannot call people working under him as being foolish and useless people, then what is the point of being an Excellency again? What is the point of being an Excellency? If you cannot intimidate, if you cannot harass, if you cannot stupefy, if you cannot call names, if you cannot, what is the point of being an Excellency? What is the point of occupying office and being honourable? If you cannot make people feel useless about themselves. I mean, he's looking like a foolish boy. He's resigning over nonsense. But that's the thing. That's the difference. That's the difference. How many Excellencies the Honourables go about dehumanizing people on a daily basis? And as they do that, people are still hailing them. Say, yes, he's on grant. He has structure. But here's a man, a UK Deputy Prime Minister, resigning office because civil service, some persons complained about his actions and his comportment in office, and an independent investigation was carried out, and he was indicted on at least, I believe, 2 accounts. On 2 accounts, the rest were dismissed, but 2 of them were upheld, and for that reason, he's unhappy about it. If you read his resignation letter, he believes the process is not fair to him, but it doesn't matter. The mere fact that it was found to be true was enough for him to leave office. And I hope for a time when Nigerians would not see it as a normal sin for an office holder to undermine other people, to traumatize them, to address them anyhow because he's honourable or his excellency. That he's so larger than life that he can trample on people. And people don't have a say again just because his excellency or because he's honourable. By the way, we are that kind of people as well. We are a respectful people, irrespective of what office you occupy. It's just that we have gotten to a point in our lives, we've hit extreme lows where just because the person has money, because you don't want to be hungry, and he knows he can address you anyhow, talk to you anyhow, embarrass people, humiliate them, intimidate them, bully them, and they will still be loyal because of choppings. It's a very sad thing indeed. But we can learn a thing or two from what happened in the UK. We can learn a thing or two. And by the way, once again, they don't have larger brains than ours. No, they don't. It's just how we choose to apply ourselves as a people. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope you were on board. Let's get your take on mine. Lines open. Call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, or 0817-923-0007. Live on Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. Also check us out on Twitter and YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, Hot Frank, welcome.
Hello, good evening, the Big D. My name is Richard from Igbo.
Hello, go ahead.
All right, Diane, you spoke very well. I came across that the whole. In fact, I followed someone that followed the whole trend of that story. I was watching it with my elder brother. I remember just telling my elder brother that this can never happen in Nigeria. He was like, "Nah, we cannot believe it." Someday I said this cannot happen. Yeah, someday it might happen. It's the truth of the matter. You spoke it already. I don't think I can add any other strategy. But my own is, yes, like you said, we have good minds. We have good conscience. We are not a hostile people. I mean, to the outside world, we are very, very welcoming and warming people. But it's just that within ourselves, we are very wicked and hateful. So, except we can channel our emotions and try to curtail as leaders, and you can see they hold their leaders in high standard and regard. They hold them very strong. They hold them to book. So their words, their action. Here they can just speak anyhow to you. Anything goes. Edmund Burke says the only thing that is also love of evil over good is for good men to do nothing. They hold their people very strong in high regard. Remind you of that video I saw, trending video about the Gambian parliamentarian. I hope one day you do on that. That video. The Gambian lawmaker that was opening the book file for her fellows, her friends in the Holy Chamber to see their thoughts. So we should be able to hold these people in regard, and also they should take responsibility for their actions and step down where they need be. Thank you very much, Dayo.
You're welcome. Let's get your take as well. All right, hello. Our excellencies are so contemptuous of the people that they can't be bothered to intimidate us themselves. Instead, they outsource it to their mopo to flog us out of their super busy way. Rasam Ibi Bozima. That's both tragic and comedic at the same time. Hello, you're welcome. Hello, go ahead. All right, to all the messages here. Good afternoon, Dad. Do you remember a governor that flogged civil servants and nothing has happened till today? That's in Jackson. Yep. Dad, this reminds me of a governor who humiliated a royal father, calling him small boy and Usman Danfodio. People there were laughing as the governor humiliated the traditional ruler. That's from Kelechi. If you cannot make a security officer become Madame's errand boy, how will people know they are excellencies? Nigerians really have a long way to go. That's from Anderson. Dio, our language of sane society and insane society is still in force in Nigeria, so never expect that to happen in Nigeria. Our leaders are so untouchable. That's from Sonny. Dio, have you read the book Why Nations Fall? If you have, you will understand why African countries are significantly different from their Western counterparts and why things will never change in this continent. No, things will change. Hello? Once again, 0817-923-0002 or 0003. Good afternoon, Dar. As they say, insane climbs, ours is not a sane climb, so we stay in office and continue the atrocities. Hello, you're welcome.
Dar, I agree with you.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Mr. Collins from jail. Dar, it's a very, very interesting issue, but to see such happening, and I will give time to him, first of all. Imagine that the INEC man now, they're even looking for him. So tell us now, who will come and say, I mean, that's let me resign. When we say we have seen enough, something will just pop up. A new one that you have not heard before. One hand up will just do one like this, all of us will just scream. We will just bring it out and we'll discuss it. And we say that one is the highest one. Before you, another will just come up. We hear another one. They collect army and they arrive with their boxers. Nobody will be killed. Nobody will die. Nobody will punch in this country. Nigeria. That is why they are mandate as they go to court. Because nobody punished. If I did I will come out now.
Your thoughts are still welcome. In Nigeria, Honorable is on the road. Honorable is on the road, and you're on the road also. How is that a normal thing? Are you okay? Excellency is passing, and you want to pass on the same road. You want to pass where Excellency is passing? Whatever he sees afterwards, just take it like that. And when people want to ask, they'll ask you, fellow Nigerians will ask, what didn't you see Honorable passing? Did you see that Excellency was not pass? And you too, you are passing. In fact, your Excellency is passing. You didn't die. You stayed alive when Excellency was passing beside you. Wow, you have strong mind. But for Israel a while ago, our leaders use poverty as a weapon, making it difficult to hold them accountable for any crime. Well, even if you don't have money, it doesn't mean that you should lose your head. Not everybody in the UK is rich, but they still hold their leaders accountable. You can't do that. It's not acceptable. They've got standards. And as simple as that. They've got standards. Commercial break. I return to take more thoughts on this to play in Heart for Turns in a bit.
Your comments and every
Phone Hearing Punhaka time die. Got about 4 minutes to go before 4 p.m. Your responses are still welcomed. My rant earlier on was a UK Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab accused of bullying, and because of that he quit. Once again, I'm just imagining a Nigerian excellency talking to another honorable saying, look at him, foolish boy. Imagine, you see what the foolish boy is resigning for. They say he bullied people and he resigned. Did he slap the person? Did he slap them? Did his mopo destroy the person's car? Did they destroy? Did anybody die? Did anybody die? If somebody died, you can give them compensation now. Find them something. Just find them something. And the foolish boy. Anyways, let's get your take. Call 0817 923 0002 or 3 or 7. Hard fact to welcome. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, very important topic. There was a former governor of Abia State who, anytime his son is entering the market, his father had to go out. So one day he came and father go out, and somebody refused to go out, not knowing that the person in the corner, Nami. So he beat the hell out of him. So unfortunately, those guys know how to behave because their men. So he was beaten mercilessly. he smoked that he was going abroad. So that is how they see people like animals. Whenever they're going, they think that they are something. When they go outside there, they become humble. But they want to come to Nigeria, they become lost. So it's a very unfortunate incident. Their brain are going the same thing. The only thing is orientation and their personality.
All right. You're right, today is funny. Even Honorable Special Assistant and polling units will not resign. Not to talk of real Honorable. Good afternoon, Don. Excellency is talking. You are talking. Who will give you chop money? That's from Lola. All right. To wrap this up in a moment. An interesting comment here from Ibibo Zimbo helps capture this very well. Hello, Don. Our Excellencies are so contemptuous of the people that they can't be bothered to intimidate us themselves. Instead, they outsource it to their mopo to flog us out of their super busy way. That's it. I mean, Nigerian Excellency does not even have the time to bully you. You are beneath the level of someone. His mopo will bully you. You know, his people, his errand boys, his structures will bully you into submission. You know, or bully you out of existence. You know, and if His Excellency ever has the time to bully you himself, you should be happy about it. And thank God that His Excellency had the time to even insult you or give you a moment of his time. Quite sad indeed, most unfortunate. But we are better than this. We are, and we know that we are. We know that we are. I know that we know that we are. All right, business news comes up shortly. Discussions continue after that. Why would Nigerian students go to Sudan to study?
The latest updates, current issues, and lots